This part of the world owes its history to coal. Nobody goes down the pits anymore, and in Blaenavon that's taken its toll. But they can feel the climate is changing.
Do you think that places like this would have an uncomfortable relationship with climate change?
To some people, yeah. The heritage of this town is the coal and the ironworks. And without that, there wouldn't be a town.
A poll for Sky News suggests increasingly there's a reckoning over global warming. 76% of people we spoke to accept the climate is changing due to human activity. But almost two-thirds said they haven't been paying attention to the climate change conference. 10-year-old Mason is amongst those who have been following events.
What do you know about COP26?
It's doing it in Glasgow and stuff, and people are marching around and all.
But Blaenavon is altogether less frenetic, and that's part of the problem. Back in the day, this would have been a gold rush town. Now businesses have closed, poverty levels are high, and people are worried about the cost of living, let alone saving the planet. Locals admit the electric car bays aren't used much. Signmaker Yazir says he's struggling to find labour to keep his businesses going.
From a business point of view, it's all about affordability, whether you can afford to change your vehicles, etc., etc.
Our survey suggests people are split on whether taxes should be increased to help pay the costs of reducing carbon emissions in Britain. 44% oppose the idea.
Obviously, with it being milder, better grass growth.
Sheep farmer James Bourne knows better than most how the seasons have changed. In some respects, it's already too late.
I think that, in time the world probably will come together to improve things. But I don't think it's something that's going to happen, in the short term. In the dark recess of the mind, where you age before your time.
One thing that's not changed is Blaenavon's choir, still going after more than 100 years. Farmer James is a baritone and took us to meet some other members and their friends to discuss how habits in the hillsides are changing.
I think that in a town like this, which is typical of many towns in Britain, there's a way would you put heat pumps on these terraced houses.
Now we've got food banks in all these towns. We've gone backwards. And I think most people are worried about that than climate change.
In our survey, more than two-thirds said they felt pessimistic that the world will make the changes necessary to limit the impact of climate change.
I think there's a lot of passion, but I do worry how much of it's actually going to get done.
The planet needs more than prayers. And as our poll suggests, a greater global willingness for one community to save another. Lisa Holland, Sky News, Blaenavon.